Is that a trick question? This man was a bona fide scrub. Bona fide scrub.
This dude, I believe he's a bona fide superstar right now.
Right. Oh, well, of course, it's all about winning, baby.
Yeah.
But a man that has probably dominated news headlines as much as he has, just as crazy, Kyrie Irving. I think it's pretty much I can't believe that this is real, but he's actually not going to be playing games. He's only going to be away. He'll only be there for away games.
Is he though? Is he going to be there for away games?
Oh, that's outrageous to even say such a statement. So at least. Did you think this was going to be a possibility? The fact that Kyrie Irving was not, like, he wasn't going to cave, like you.
Yeah. No, I thought this was a possibility because I think what we've heard, I guess, about him as a person across the course of his career is that he is really, we just talk about stubbornness. I think he is really, has come across in the media as a real stubborn, steadfast person when it comes to his values and his beliefs, which again, there's no issue with that. And I really respect that, but there also becomes a negative with that. And that's the fact that you're not willing to basically take away your personal values and beliefs for the good of the team. And at the end of the day, when I heard there was obviously the Kyrie Irving thing, there was the Andrew Wiggins thing, I immediately thought that there's much more chance that Andrew Wiggins is going to get vaccinated than there is Kyrie Irving. And that's played out. Because the perspective...
It's Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, it's Kyrie Irving. And there's nothing against the bloke, but from what we hear, his values and beliefs are deeply held. And I don't think he cares too much about the money necessarily. He loves playing basketball. I don't think he cares too much about the money. He obviously doesn't care about the media, publicity side of things as such. He's got deeply held values and beliefs. Now, I'm not saying that Andrew Wiggins doesn't have those deeply held values and beliefs, but I also think that Andrew Wiggins probably cares about his money maybe a little bit more than Kyrie Irving does, and that's a higher priority for him. So he saw the financial implications that was going to be placed against him and thought, okay, no, I've been forced to do this kind of thing. So, yeah, I don't know.
Kyrie, first of all, he's the type of bloke, that would give up 30 plus million just to make a point about something. And I don't think basketball matters to him anymore. He's on this trailblazer path. He's trying to be some sort of free thinker or whatever. Mm-hmm. But all right, well, let's say that's the plan. The Nets are going to go down. They're going to let him only there for away games, some training. He can only be there for some training sessions as well, I found. What's the benefit of this? Because the reason why I bring this up, I look at particularly the 2019 Clippers, the way that they had Kawhi Leonard in and out of the lineup, letting him have his days off, the special type of treatment. Mm-hmm. And I think the lack of chemistry killed them at the end of the season because they didn't have him for the big games. They couldn't build that chemistry. And I know Kyrie's best mates with KD, and from what they say, they'd love to have him back and they'll let him do that. But should they, I guess, take heed warning from those Clippers, or do you think actually this could actually
pretty
work
good
out
point.
In that?
Yeah, it's a pretty good point. I want to just put a scenario to you because the latest news is that James Harden, Kevin Durant are going to sit down with Brooklyn management and map out whether they're actually going to let Kyrie Irving play away games. Because it is just going to be a kind of a farcical situation if you have a bloke coming into the starting lineup and then out of the starting lineup. Then into the starting lineup, out of the starting lineup. So I want to put you in the scenario of you are Kevin Durant. You're good friends with Kyrie Irving. Brooklyn management come to you and say, do you think we should actually allow Kyrie to play away games, or should we sit him for the whole season, basically? Basically, we're sitting him for away games, and he's obviously legally not allowed to play home games. What is your perspective?
I would say don't let him play. Because I can't. I've heard so many people talk about the distraction that this will be. So imagine the games that, all right, let's say we win at home, and Kyrie's not there. Obviously, they'll be like, "Oh wow, you guys are actually better without Kyrie. Have you thought about this?" And then you play away, and then there's people are always just going to be tossing. And what if you start winning without Kyrie Irving?
Yeah,
Patty Mills, I think, can be a starting point guard for that team and play productive minutes. And I think Kevin Durant and James Harden can win a championship. What if you play better without him? And for as great as Kyrie Irving is, he doesn't impact winning. He does, unless he's got a superstar. I'm thinking about the Cleveland teams he was at. I remember when he was the head of the Boston team, I guess. And I look at the Nets last year. They won games without him pretty comfortably. And let's say you start winning without him, and then you look forward to it and wonder, do you really need? And to think that I can't be able to rely on him. Let's say you get the number one seed. It's Game 7 in your house, but Kyrie Irving's not going to be able to be there. I see way more negatives of him being in and out of the lineup and messing up what we've got going on. I look at the Clippers situation a few years ago, and what infuriates me most about not just Kyrie Irving, any anti-vaxxer, is it's not about you. It's about other people. The main reason I think a lot of people got vaccinated is because they know, well, not just easing restrictions and stuff like that. It's to help other people, the community. And Kyrie Irving, to make this such an individual decision, it's not an individual decision. It's for other people. Yeah. So I would say don't let him play until he gets his shit together, basically. Yeah. How would you answer if you're a bit of a rant there?
No, that's fair enough, and I totally agree with you. And I agree with your last take there about the COVID vaccine. Look, I'm fully vaccinated. I didn't get it for myself, because at the end of the day, if I caught COVID, I'm pretty confident as a 24-year-old, fairly fit and healthy young bloke, that I don't think it would knock me around too much. I couldn't see myself ending up in ICU. Now, maybe there's a chance of that happening, and there's no longer a chance of that happening given I'm fully vaccinated. But it's more so for the fact, my dad's 75 years of age with one kidney and has had prostate cancer in the past and whatnot. It's for those kind of people that you don't want to pass on and obviously get them fully sick and possibly lose them. So I agree with that for starters. In terms of if I was Kevin Durant and I got sat down and asked whether or not Kyrie Irving should be playing in away games, I agree with you, because if he's in and out of the lineup, then it's just a talking point for the whole season. I feel like if you just say, if you sit him and just say, yeah, you're not playing at all this whole season, then it'll be a massive talking point to begin with. But after 10, 15 games of the regular season, the media and everyone else and us, as podcasters and discussing it, we'll stop discussing it, because it'll basically turn into, oh, well, he's kind of just like got a long-term injury. He's just out for the whole season. Like, we're not discussing whether or not he should be playing or he shouldn't be playing, or should he be coming off the bench maybe to lessen the potential team chemistry issues of him going in and out of a starting lineup kind of thing. So, yeah, I agree that he probably should be sat. He should be sat for the whole season. The different question is, what do we think will happen? Because I just asked you and you asked me in return what we would do. That's a completely different answer to what do we think will happen, which is, I think they'll let him play away games. I don't think they should, but I think they will. Do you agree with that, or do you think they'll actually take the hard line and say, yeah, not playing at all, mate?
I think they'll try for as long as they can and see how much that impacts the winning, or just what that does for the team.
So they'll try for as long him playing away games, or him not playing at all?
Yeah, playing away games. Just to see what whether that's even manageable. Because I know the media. You know how Kevin Durant, how sensitive he gets when it comes to the media, and James Harden, obviously, the media love to attack him, and so I think they'll go for as long as they can. But after, I think it'd be pretty early on they'll be able to realise this isn't sustainable. I guess, for a better term. And
if KD and James Harden don't like the media as such, or don't want to be involved in the media as much as they can and get asked questions and whatnot, then they should sit Kyrie Irving. Because if Kyrie Irving plays away games and doesn't play home games, and it's just a storyline for the whole season, and you can guarantee every single game, press conferences afterwards towards KD, towards Kyrie when he's at away games, if he's played them, to James Harden, is, okay, what's happening with Kyrie? Has his thoughts changed? How's the team chemistry with him coming in and out of the line? It's just going to be asked every game. So I think it's actually a good thing for KD and Harden. If they don't want to be this a massive talking point and potentially affect their games, then I'd sit him. But as I said, I don't think that will happen. Last question on the Brooklyn Nets and the Kyrie situation. How do you view them now? You had them second, I think, in your Eastern Conference rankings when we did the previews. I had them first. I'll go first and say I've got them second now, because I just think without Kyrie, it takes away puts extra responsibility on KD and Harden. So when you've got three absolute superstars there, you can basically afford to rest one of them every few games kind of thing and still win games of basketball with your two other superstars out there kind of thing. I just think KD, regardless of the Kyrie situation, is probably only going to play 60, 65 games maybe, and they'll rest him kind of through the regular season. Now, without Kyrie there, that just means that they're probably going to lose more games of basketball, because when KD's sitting, well, now you've only got James Harden. And when James Harden's sitting, now you've only got KD. Instead of having KD sitting and now you've got Harden and Kyrie still there that can do the offensive load for you. So, yeah, I have them pushed down to second now. If Kyrie was there and he was going to play the whole season, I'd have them first. But, yeah, I guess it's not just the regular season, though. It's also how we view them come playoff time.
Yeah, come playoff time, I think that their off-season was really nice. The Jeff Green thing is probably the only thing I'd really criticise, the loss of Jeff Green. But Marcus Aldridge and Blake, from what I've seen anyway, early preseason, they're serviceable, smart sort of, I guess,
veteran bigs.
Role players, veteran bigs, role players to have. But yeah, KD and Harden winning the chip. Do you find that? Do you think there's a possibility they could?
I'd still have them. I think I'd still have them favourites. I think, but
okay.
What it doesn't allow is one of those blokes to get injured.
And
there's when you have three superstars like that, there's an insurance. Your third star is an insurance policy of we can, and I think that's part of the reason why the Lakers got Russell Westbrook as well, because now they think, LeBron can sit maybe a few more games, kind of easy his way through the regular season, and on his nights off, Russ can take some of the load. So your third star is kind of an insurance policy, not just for the regular season, but also for, well, if they're going to be out for the playoffs, then we've still got a chance of winning. Because I think teams, if you've only got two All-Stars, if you lose one of them, you're kind of cooked. Look at what happened with the Warriors. Yes, they lost KD, but they also lost Klay Thompson. If the Warriors had Klay Thompson the last two seasons, I think they make the playoffs. As long as Steph played, not the year before, because Steph was injured there as well. But, for example, Warriors finished 9th last season. If they had Klay Thompson, they're making playoffs. They just are. So, once you lose that second All-Star, it's just very difficult.
I just look at the East powerhouses, and when I think back that all it took, KD could be probably NBA champion. If Harden was healthy, I reckon they would have won the finals this year. So